Can everybody hear me? Peace be upon you. So let's sit comfortably, making sure our spine is straight. We adjust ourselves now so we don't feel uncomfortable at all during our meditation. Allow the body to be completely still. Only the movements caused by the breath are happening. To start this meditation, let it sink deep into your blood and bones that you are a Buddha. In every mystic tradition, awakening is not something to achieve, it is something to discover. Imbibe this feeling and sit as a Buddha. Means to sit with grace and dignity. The body itself is a beautiful temple, and its wisdom is to be here now. Just be with the body, here and now. Allow each out-breath to be a relaxation. And each in-breath, a vitalization. Feel the richness and the incredibleness of being alive in this moment, in your body. This very body, the Buddha, feel the beauty of the breath. Again, when we're aware of the breath, we're in the present moment. It's like the umbilical cord the rest of the universe. The rise and the fall of the body, we're just simply aware of as we follow the breath. Psychologically, we let go of projections of the future. And reflections of the past. They're just concepts we make up. We just let them go. And sink deeper and deeper into this knowledge. I am a Buddha. I don't need anything else. I couldn't possibly want to be anywhere else. I am at the perfect place in existence. Here and now. This body, this breath, my aliveness. Now that we've settled the mind, just completely open up to the six senses. You can keep your eyes closed or open your eyes. It's up to you. We just allow whatever arises to arise. In the scene, just let the scene be the scene. And in the herd, just let the herd be the herd. Don't bring in any conceptual chatter. This very world, the Pure Land, don't touch it with your mind. We just allow sensations in the body to be there. Don't bring any image of the body to the sensations. Don't be for or against the sensations. You're just aware of them. Noticing that sensations just come and go. Sounds just come and go in their own way. And you are a noticing presence. Notice in the same way thoughts and images simply come and go in the mental consciousness. But there's a reflecting awareness. That has not changed, that has witnessed these things. It's your very nature. the very observing of sounds coming and going, sensations coming and going, thoughts coming and going, makes you aware there is something, a presence that isn't coming and going. You are aware of this awareness. Keeping this simple beauty, just very lightly, we're going to use our mind and reflect. When I'm in the presence of a baby, clearly the baby is existing as an awareness, but does not have a mind to conceptually analyze. The mind is an add-on. What is that space in me that's like a baby? Does a baby have to work on being itself? Or is its very nature to exist? Recognize that space in you. It's just aware. But the difference between you and a baby is you're aware that you're aware. But there's nothing more complicated to it. There's nothing to create. That utter simplicity. Of perceiving the universe. Again, we'll very lightly use the mind. And we'll remember, there is no blue in the sky. If we fly up into the sky, it's just clear. When we come back down, the blue appears again. But we know when we look up at the sky into that emptiness, due to appearances, blue appears. The very seeing of the blue makes us understand there is no blue there. Likewise, there is no person there. The person just appears, just like another thought or appearance. We remember that when we've looked for the person, we cannot find it. That's not a problem. We cannot find blue in the sky, but blue appears. So when the feeling of a self arises, as we're resting in awareness, let the very appearance of it make you know that it's not there from its own side. It's just an image appearing in your awareness. Don't grasp at it. Don't worry about it. Notice it's just another phenomenon, moving in awareness. Allow that knowledge to be intuitively part of your resting in awareness. Don't be tricked by the mind into thinking you need to do something. You are always aware. It's the most effortless thing that could possibly be. In fact, no matter what you do, you cannot stop perceiving. Notice that your Buddha self is pure, pure effortlessness. Notice it doesn't have an agenda. It's not trying to get somewhere or be something. Notice this innate contentedness. notice that the Buddha self really doesn't care what thoughts go through the mind. It's not affected if you're having a good or a bad day. It doesn't have any obligations. It doesn't get bored. It doesn't get agitated or excited. There's nothing you can do to maintain it. As if without your efforts it would somehow not exist. But all your efforts are mere reflections in its eternal knowing. Notice most of all that it's you, the pure sky of your awareness. It's always here now. In fact, there is no time. Time is a concept. Referring to change. The awareness doesn't have any attributes we can refer to that are changing. The body is breathing within it. The sounds of the world are within it. You are that which you've been seeking. Remember the qualities of the baby. The Buddha self is pure existence, but it knows. Without the conceptual mind. Bring back the image of a person. It's just within this awareness. Like you're looking at the blue of the sky, knowing it's not the sky there. You have an image of a person that's just arising in the awareness that's perceiving the collection of the body and mind. Just like if you rearrange paint on a canvas, an image will appear. Usually we're trapped in this conceptual image of a self, a person. Now we're looking at it. It's not a problem. Just another thought, another appearance. A magical apparition that has to sort out the appearances of the day. This little person has an agenda. He has to get the shopping. She has to clean the toilet. It's just a conceptual framework and an image arising in this awareness. A baby can't make head nor tail of the colors and images it's perceiving. In order to do that, the awareness creates a person to move around. But the person is empty of personness from its own side. You are always the perceiving awareness. Try to get a feel for this as we come back from sitting into the very clear appearance of people and things. Develop this intention to be alert as much as possible to come back to the pure presence. So this meditation is not just an event, it's something that's leading you throughout the day. Very gently make sure you're aware of your body. And start to come out, embracing the movement within the five senses. we can take a moment to stretch. So we're continuing the Bodhisattva vows, the trend. So this is kind of in the realm of action. Yeah, we look at view, meditation, action, conduct. How we're experiencing ourselves in the realm of the many, the appearances. And something that came up last night, talking about being compassionate. I was referring to something I read, which I managed to find, from Bernie Glassman, Teachings in Zen. Bernie Glassman is the Zen teacher of Lex Hixon, the book that we're on book club going into. And so this was his Zen teacher. So I thought I'd just read this out to start. This is from the introduction. In Zen, there are two ways of describing reality. Basically, one says that reality is all one, that everything is Buddha. The other describes the manyness of reality, its multitude of diverse phenomena and differences. What both sutras say is that these two ways of perceiving reality are not just valid, but essentially the same. Over the years, Zen masters have developed practices to help us see reality first from both sides separately, and then from both as an equivalence. As I've become more and more involved in social action, I see the issue of oneness and diversity not only as a primary issue in Zen practice, but perhaps as the issue in the peacemaking world. I see this in the many places around the globe where systematic massacres and widespread ethnic cleansing are predicated on the notion that there's only one way to be, one way to behave, one God to believe in, and that all else is somehow invalid. There are always some things that we exclude from the one, that we can't possibly believe are enlightened as they are, that we can't believe are it. This points to the importance of prajna wisdom, to not seeing things in a dualistic, inside-outside way, but rather experiencing the vibrancy of everything as it is at this very moment. On the other hand, we are often tempted to sit and not do. For years, I encountered Zen practitioners who felt that until they were fully enlightened, there was no use acting in the world. They would simply be acting out of delusion. I have argued forcefully that we have to act. We don't practice in order to attain enlightenment. Because we are enlightened, we practice. In the same way, we don't act in the world in order to make everything one. Because we are one, we act. Bodhisattvas don't vow to work forever simply to attain results or objectives that are exterior to themselves. Because they are prajnaparamita, because they embody the wisdom that everything is interconnected without exception, they strive to save all beings. The more clearly we see this, the more appropriately we act. In fact, we have no choice in the matter. For me, practice has always been about the one body, not just the one body as a single entity, as one, but also as a million billion different components and pieces, each of which is the one body. I would say that the great quest from time immemorial has not been the search for or even the realization of oneness that seems to have existed from early on, but rather the honoring of each particular, each individual aspect of the one body as the one body itself, without excluding something or someone, without mandating that all things be a particular way in order to be part of that one body. I'll just read the next paragraph, which I also like. As our leaders are fond of reminding us, we now live in a global community. It's interesting to me that in the political, economic, and scientific spheres, synonyms for the one body are being developed every day. Globalization, common markets, one world economy, the internet. And immediately the same issue arises. Can this move toward globalization, towards recognizing that we're all one, allow for the equal importance of diverse cultures, economies, traditions, and needs? Can we honor each component as the one body, rather than honoring the one body at the expense of its components? This has always been humanity's great challenge, and it's equally the great challenge facing peacemakers today. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Okay.
Overly politically minded, but everything that I hear at the moment seems to be towards the rise of fascism, and it seems to be coming from every angle, every country, every uh, country has their own sections which are creating more of this. I think then that falls back down into the individual, and so I'm more worried than I have been throughout my life. And I think I don't often delve into the political realm, so I might do it just for a day, and I just think, oh, it's horrific. So I come back out of it again. So I'm maybe not the best person to get the total picture, but the picture at the moment seems to be moving towards a oneness that is entirely opposite from the diversity, the freedom, the acceptance, the love, the nurturing, the growth. That's how it appears to me at the moment.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? No, I thought it was very interesting. We have had moments in history. India had thriving communities. But Spain was one of the best. It's like I think it's about 500 years after the arrival of the last messenger, peace be upon him. The kind of the seed started to flower into the tree. The tree being Ibn Arabi and the culture of Spain, but it was like Christians, Jews, what we call pagans, Muslims, all living together, all learning from each other. Yeah, just vibrant community of just, it's just like, who'd you learn guitar from? Oh, I learned guitar from Steve Vai. It's like, oh, show me what he's learned you. It's like, who are you learning guitar from? It's like, I'm learning guitar from B.B. King. It's like, oh, show me what he's doing. Oh, that's amazing. This is how I play guitar. It's like, well, I play guitar. Let's have a jam. Just like that, but about God and oneness. You don't want them to be the same, do you? Who wants everyone to be the same? It'd be so boring. But freedom is a very delicate matter, because freedom allows someone the freedom to want to stop freedom. It's one of the little trickinesses of freedom. So I was having a look on a quick look on the classes. I'm sure the last class is missing. I had a look on the classes. There's a few classes that, like number one's not there, and I'm sure we've done the next class, but it's not there. So I'll just go through it quickly. I mean, the Bodhisattva vows are something you can memorize. For those that are studying 100 Days of Emptiness, it's very traditional to memorize the Heart Sutra. So it says, number 30, becoming engrossed in non-Dharma subjects for their own sake. I'm pretty sure we did that last time. That just means we just keep aware that we don't get too lost in the world again. The motivations of samsara can be very powerful. So one of the easy ways to make sure that doesn't happen, very easy way, is we go for refuge 5 times a day by doing the prayers. Just reminding yourself again. The things I need to do in the world are not the be-all and end-all. What's it like for us when they're the be-all and end-all? That's why we started the path in the first place. Because it's not enjoyable. Very simple. Again, often it's like suffering that might bring us back to the path. Hopefully it's love. It's like, I love God so much. I love meditating. Hope you enjoyed the meditation. I love meditating. Love the path. Love singing. Love dancing. Love, create a nice culture of doing things as much as possible. Oh, it would be great if we could get our own little island. That's what Osho used to say. We'll get our own island. Yeah. Just go away, all you numpties who just enjoy suffering. And we're going to live on our own island where we like have a biodiverse culture of food, music, dance, play, work. You know, life is beautiful. That's why I come. Because I want to enjoy everything and make it beautiful. I want to be in a community where we speak to each other really nice. We don't backbite. I can trust my community. I can trust my friends. They're reliable. We make each other laugh. We make good food for each other. Yeah. If I'm in trouble, they'll be there for me. We sing, we dance, we make art. That's why I'm here. Or I still think being out there with other people who aren't practicing will do it. Eventually it bites you in the ass and you come back. And it's like, oh yeah, that really doesn't work. And then generally the Dharma makes you feel really good again. And then samsara seems to start working because you haven't made the connection yet that your mind's now good again. And when your mind's good, everything's good. But then you think it's out there again. And then, you know, that's like the going back, isn't it? Like you just, that's how slippery the mind is, right? Our job is not to not enjoy ourselves. Our job is to enjoy ourselves more than anyone else in the world. That's your task. When you're in Tantra, your commitment is to be not just happy, blissful. That is the example. You're not setting an example, but that's the point. They let people like look at you and go, oh, he's got something, she's got something. She's just happy all the time. And they're attracted. But that's not what we're doing it for. We're doing it because life is here to be lived to the fullest, the most enjoyable. This is why we're here. It's not like some punishment exercise. It's like Osho said, I'm so contented. He said, I could die right now and I'll be happy. I just want to share what I've got. I want you to experience it. That life is so enjoyable. This is how it's enjoyable. You know, we've tried the other way. We have to, so it's how to then be in the world, enjoy it even more, and not grasp at it. It's Bodhisattva. That's what we're training at. We're gonna grasp at it again and get bitten, aren't we? It's like, you know, every now and again you'll just stumble, you'll awaken again, like get a bit lucid about the situation that your desires have put you in. It's like, probably that wasn't the best idea, was it? Blood on your fingers. No, I'm only joking. Where's my lawyer? Help! Oh man, it's like I wish I'd just meditated. Isn't it? Have those moments? You just followed your desire, like you put your fingers in the pot, in the tree, the monkey. 31. Criticizing other Mahayana traditions. This doesn't mean if you're being abused, you don't criticize it. It's like Venerable Geshe says, within the Mahayana there is a great variety of different traditions, and each tradition has its own texts and practices. Yeah, we've definitely covered this before. Right? If some of these appear to be contrary to our own tradition, we should not discriminate against them or criticize them without a good reason. If we do so with a deluded motivation, we incur a secondary downfall. So sometimes when it appears that a teacher might be criticizing the tradition, they're not criticizing it. They're recognizing that we have a conceptual attachment to the idea of what that tradition is, and they're trying to break your conceptual ideas that have been caught up, that manifested within this tradition. Like, there is no God but God, and you think that the people who worship other things are worshipping another God. So you might have to criticize that idea of there's no God but God. It's not the words themselves, it's that we've been caught up in a wrong idea about what that means. Right? But generally, don't try and belittle other people, other people's paths. It's just a very easy, simple thing. We honor what other people practice. Again, just like different guitar players. Don't go, your guitar teacher's rubbish. It's just simple, isn't it? Just be friendly. Distill all these vows into be friendly to people. Praising ourselves and scorning others. Definitely done that. Making no effort to study Dharma. Yeah, if we don't make any effort, we don't study, we don't practice, we generally don't get anywhere, right? Okay, pretty simple. But it's just a reminder, just like if you spend time away, again, you got caught up in work, caught up in family, caught up in this, caught up in that. This is the reminder, the guidelines, like, yep, I need to get back into my practice and study. But we're all fine, right? Everyone's been coming for a while, so it's not an issue. Like, you're doing it. Each one check the positive side. What's it like when you meet someone and they tell you they're a Sikh? And you go, oh, tell me about it. And they tell you about something, and you go, oh, that's amazing. What's that like compared to, oh, no, that's not as good as Buddhism. Yeah. Is it an enjoyable mind? It's not. What's it like when you're praising yourself and you're looking down on others? Enjoyable mind. Each time think of, like, I'm doing it, this is what a Bodhisattva means. Try and bring in that consciousness that it's all about making you happy. Just have a moment, like you're chatting to someone, you're really open, you're going, this is me, this is it, this is what they mean. This is me being a Bodhisattva. Like going to a party, you have to go to a party if you're invited. Being really open, listening to people and honouring them, going, this is it. And this is enjoyable. Keep trying to make that connection. The spiritual path's not like, you're not like, you don't start wearing special necklaces, getting dreads, tie-dyes, tops, going to mermaid workshops. Right? You don't walk in a different way. It's enjoying your life. Just getting rid of the things that prevent you from enjoying it. Preferring to rely on books rather than upon our spiritual guide. You have to be it's like a heart-to-heart thing, life, right? But maybe I'd love to see maybe some experiments we can check. People who just now live on the internet. Maybe these are kind of, actually I've seen a group of school kids in Edinburgh last time I was in, and they were all energetically ill. Just because they're probably on screens all the time. I may have mentioned before, but it's a very interesting thing someone told me, that children that only learned, God knows who these people are that experiment on these children, but they've only learned to speak through screens. Their vocal cords don't develop properly. Because it's an energetic transmission that we learn from. Like, screens are good, these are good, but it's very different than when we're sitting together, right? Physically in presence together. Yeah. I mean, would you be fulfilled if your partner, like, let's say you met them online, you're on your Twindle, whatever it's called, Bumble. God knows, there's one for everyone. There's one for Muslims, isn't it? Buddhist chat or whatever it is. You meet them online, and you never meet them physically. Would you be satisfied? No. Unless you're deranged. Unless you're so afraid of life. There's probably some Chinese kid who just never, those ones that die because they don't make it to the toilet because they're absorbed in their games. They've probably never gone outside, The government's probably doing experiments on them. Let's see what happens if we get a bunch of kids, and just stick them in there and they never let them out. You think you'd have a powerful psychological immune system? You just become more and more afraid. You're more and more on your screen. You're more and more, isn't it? Yeah, we're learning so it's like a lot of this tradition is born from when you're young, you get sent to a guru to learn education. And so so it's very much like if you've had good parental figures, you're going to learn a lot anyway, right? Through the tradition for us of Christianity, there's still the remnants of being a good person. A lot of these are just the same thing, right? It's just reaffirming, be a good person. Know what's wrong and right. And if your parents taught you that, you're getting a lot of the spiritual path already. And so the spiritual guide it's the Buddha Dharma Sangha. It's been around that community and that presence. And yeah, we know from our own experience, if we've been away from it for a while and we come in, we start crying sometimes. It's like, yeah, this is the energy field. It's an energy field, right? And it's good to study the books. That's the one before. But it's very important that we come together as people. Hug each other. Yeah. We gave Hakeem the baby last night. That's enough, right? Presence. Communing. That's how we learn, isn't it? It's like an indication like this. The real learning is being looked at, being seen, being loved. That's what forgiveness is. You're seen. You know you're seen, and you're still welcome. Come again. Even if you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come again. This is not a caravan of despair. We are lovers. Yeah? Done something wrong. So what? Come. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Yeah, here's the baby. Where's the argument? You tell me that knowledge isn't happening? Something's not transpiring when you're holding a baby? That's a spiritual path. We're studying a lot of these words to clear away anything that prevents us from being in community and opening your heart up. Having your baby and being fully with it. Being fully with people. I.e., we're enjoying our life, right? Like death awareness. Like if your mum tells you she's going to die, comes back, And then she says, I've got cancer. And then you start seeing her, like she can't make it to the toilet. What's it like to spend time with her? It's very precious, right? You're bringing that quality in of, but now, whilst your mum's not dying, that's the point. You bring that mind in and you're watching your mum moaning, and it's so precious, right? It's like, I might not get to see her moan at me again. Like she's adjusting your top and he's like, all right, Mum, I'm 35. It's like, whatever it is. It's so beautiful. What more do you want? It's like that, you know. 35, not going to the assistance of those in need. If someone, this will apply when you've got another task, right? You've got an agenda somewhere. If someone asks for our help, or we realise that he hopes for it, and we are in a position to help him, and yet out of laziness or some other delusion, we do not go to his assistance, we incur a secondary downfall. For example, if someone asks to be shown the way, or asks for practical or spiritual help, or requests us to mediate in a dispute, we should assist him whatever way we can. There's a little insect that needs your help, but you wanted to watch the episode of your TV programs about that. It's like, this vow, no, do it. Help. But again, it's just being friendly. And you're becoming someone who's trustworthy. I would say, you want to be aware. If you still don't want to help them, and you go and help them, I don't know, it's probably worse, isn't it? The point is, it's an alertness to remind you that you're deluded, that you're caught up in yourself. It's like, it's more important for me. You change your mind. Like this. It's more important for me that I go and help someone than watch my show. I can watch my show later. I'd rather help someone. Yeah, my mum and my brother are fighting and they've asked me to help. I'd rather help them. Yeah, peace be upon you. No sign. When you like that, you don't have to run around helping people. Right? Do you know what I mean? It's like then we get into the Jehovah's Witnesses, and you're knocking at people's doors. Have you heard the good news? It's like, yes, I have. You got a cancer diagnosis yesterday. That's what they just go away from me, isn't it? 36. Neglecting to take care of the sick. If we show no concern for sick people or animals whom we encounter, and do not do our best to help them, we incur a secondary downfall. So especially look after animals. Yeah. It's like the innocents, like the dogs. They're just like a pure presence, aren't they, Amy? It's like God just looking at you. Just this pure love. Baron.
The other day, I was with someone, and they came to just visit my work, and they're outside, and I could feel they've got a very agitated mind, and he like angrily tried to kill a little flying thing, just like that, and I was like, what do I do in this moment? I'm like, what's helpful? Do I say nothing? Do I just walk away and completely blank him? I'm like, I don't know what the best way to behave in that situation is, because I just felt very strongly against his action. I was just like, that's heavy negative karma to like really angrily try and kill something tiny. I still don't know what the right thing to do was, because I feel like even just by kind of looking away and being silent, still taking part in it but maybe I'm too much of a coward just to be like, I don't want to even look at you or be near you. And I thought maybe that's just avoiding something as well. So it's difficult to know. Thank you.
Fundamentally, we, like on the path of awareness, we're just aware. It's like, I don't know what to do. And it's like a theme that came up before. It's like, if I was awakened, I'd know what to do. I must wake up. That's what bodhicitta's increasing this bodhicitta wish. It's all about, I must awaken because I'd know what to do. Other than that, I'm just guessing. Like I'm reading books, but I'm still just guessing. Just hoping that I'm doing the right action. I don't know if I'm creating more negative karma if I say something. I don't know if it'll increase his negative karma if I say something. If I say something, he might go on a killing spree of insects just because he's pissed off that someone's told him he can't kill insects, right? You just don't know. So we accept that we don't know, and that gives us the fuel for our bodhicitta practice. I must awaken. Yeah, it's like very humbling. And it's also like amazing, like the world and things going on, and we go like, this is part of God's will. Some guy killing someone, yep. And then there's all different aspects of what could happen from where we are identifying. I say, if you might have cowardice, you might be just too afraid to speak up. There's no, you understand, there's no right answer. It's always spontaneous to the moment. The main thing we're developing, these are guidelines, which are just trying to develop your loving heart. So there's deeper qualities that we're developing about this guy, which is not to judge him.
I felt like there was, definitely an element of me judging him, and that judgment was probably like the most prevalent thing in my mind. Just like, that's a horrible thing to do. That makes you like a horrible person in this moment. Or, and I felt like I also don't want to give into that, but there is an element of cowardice of like just walking away. So it's like between those two things, it's interesting. It brings up a lot. It's a good mirror to see where you're at.
Yeah, the first part was great. What a horrible thing to do. Then you added on, you're a horrible person. Actually, like he might be your guru in the next life. Right? Even this life. Yeah. And he might remember that moment. Go, oh my goodness, Baron, you remember when I was so deluded that I was killing that? Oh my God. I still practiced a Astaghfirullah in that moment. You think he's a bad person?
No.
No. Just a deluded state in that moment, doing a deluded action, which we've all done. You see yourself, I've done that. I've been there. Is he in a happy state of mind?
No, I feel like he's maybe a little bit possessed.
Is he creating good karma?
No, I feel like he's just got his blackness around his heart. He's a salesman that just turns up every few weeks to speak to me. He's like, "Want to buy some timber?" I'm like, "No, not this week." And then he just sits in the car park for like 45 minutes, and then comes back in a few weeks. Down here, but he's just elsewhere. He just seems really, I don't know. He feels like disconnected from reality. I actually worry about him a little bit. Just doesn't seem healthy inside his heart. And it's like,
So if you kind of get into the spirit of this, which is you're reflecting, and you've had experience of this, but just like imagine, like you're really like, he comes to you, you see him, and you're really seeing that he was your mother. in a previous life. And you're also really seeing this, his inner child was abused. And you're really seeing this child of God completely swarmed over by these delusions come into you. And you see these actions creating more and more pain in his heart and suffering this, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's just absorbed in this samsaric cycle in his mind of confusion. And you just want to, you will cry. Like, please let me stop him suffering. Like that's your consciousness. What will spontaneously arise out of that is very different, right? So when you're in a state when you're judging them, probably not a good idea to be too spontaneous, because it's just coming out of this anger, your anger and judgment. So in that case, then it's usually like try and be gentle with yourself, with him, but not follow some rules, the Bodhisattva guidelines. Generally, it's like until you come back into a space where your heart is open, you're seeing things and you can just let go and be very spontaneous to the moment where you're making a connection with him at a heart level. You might not necessarily stop and killing the fly in that moment, but by your making a connection with him, you'll be able to prevent it in the future. And by getting out of your mind, you can start psychically communicating to him. What you're doing is wrong. His energy body knows it's wrong. His soul knows it's wrong. And you're making an energetic connection directly because you're conscious of that's wrong. You could say you could make a joke with him about, killing things again, but your energy's going, that's wrong, isn't it? And even as he's doing it, a light of awareness can come in, even for a split second, if you notice, where they just sense it's wrong, but they do it anyway. You've created a shift in their habit pattern just for a moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt there was I could sense even the way he tried to kill it. He almost externalized the way he was doing it because he knew it was wrong. He kind of just made this kind of sound. And I was just like, I just had this feeling like, I don't know. It felt like he knew he was doing something that was wrong, but he's just in such a disturbed state. He doesn't know how to be.
Yeah. And also, we're powerless, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're a Buddha, people have got their own karmic patterns, and it's just sad. Yeah, it is a sad and beautiful world. It is a sad world. It's not a fun thing seeing people crazed and killing other creatures out of their anger. But that's the way of the world, right? We're not, it's like be as innocent as doves, but as wise as serpents. It's like,
I also don't know the line, where to draw the line, because there was one time he came in and he was just like having a go because I buy from certain suppliers, and basically he was trying to get in the way of that. He's like, I'm going to make sure this stops, and it's totally not his place. And he got really kind of like a little bit aggro. And then the next time he came in, he totally forgot that had happened, or he said he had no memory, and he was back to being sound again. And everyone else at work doesn't like him, like that works in the mill. They're like, oh, it's him. But it's kind of like being around someone with dementia. I've just like been nice to him, and then it's like being okay. But I don't know where the line is of being nice to someone that's being abusive towards you. Because there was one of the commitments, I think, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was one of the Bodhisattva commitments is like, don't um don't keep being nice to someone that's being like taking you for granted. I'm sure I heard that somewhere. Like, don't just be a doormat in an unhealthy way if someone keeps, because it's almost like enabling that. But his behavior did change, so it's a little bit. I'm not too sure either in that way.
For us, the most important thing is view. There's a beautiful book called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And in it, his teacher beats the shit out of someone in an alley. I think they're in an alley, sort of tuning, and he's like a martial artist. Beats the shit out of them, and then calls for an ambulance for them and helps them and do the rest of it. It's our view. Our view, like saying, this person's my mother, this person is precious, and you stand up for yourself, and you don't let someone treat other people badly, but inside you don't think you're better than them. This is what all the training's about. If you get on your high horse, if you get angry, if you're looking down on him, then you're just an ordinary person engaging in ordinary things. Seeing yourself as the lowest doesn't mean you behave like you have no powers. It doesn't mean you behave like you're part of the British Empire and you're like an Indian servant. That's what kind of we think. It's just the view. I'm not better than you. That's what we're getting rid of. The holier than thou. Where we think, oh, that person's a bit mentally ill and, I'm a bit better than them. It's like, no, I could be mentally ill next week. But it doesn't mean we acquiesce to the behavior of a mentally ill person. Right?
Yeah, I think that's quite a challenge for the two. Like with the pride, it's very subtle, but maybe
it's a challenge for all of us, isn't it? Well, it's certainly a challenge for me. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think because it feels like quite a blind spot. I would only notice if I'm looking down and I'm kind of in my inability to respond naturally. I think that's the only way I can describe it. It's a block on some sort of natural response that's appropriate. Because there's like this fear or projection, rather than just being like, hey dude, you're a brother and you're a bit misguided.
Yeah. Again, so look, going back to what we said earlier, as part of being together in the community, it was like we're training to see each other as brothers and sisters, which creates a momentum, an energetic momentum that we can start doing it with everyone. But hopefully it's easy with people who are really nice to you. But even then, Sangha members are like, there's nothing can wind you up like Sangha members, right? It's part of that training. It's not easy. I mean, it's so easy to slip into judgment. So again, you can look at it like you want into kind of, as long as your heart's in a good place, you can just let yourself go. But if you notice that you're angry, and then we bring in the teachings. Yeah. Then we bring in these contemplations like, oh, that could be me. That could be, I've done that. Or, oh, what would it be like if no one liked me? Oh my goodness. How would it be if I'm like, I want to be liked, I don't know how to behave properly, and then there's this person, when I go to their work, he's just always nice to me. What would that be like? There's a story that I think Sheikh Hamza gave us. This is a guard, and I think he's in Mecca, and he said every day just pass him and go, Assalamu alaikum. And I think he's like the only one that would like say it to him. And he said, I think he started off just going, ugh. And then eventually he just go, alaikum assalam. And he said, the guards had eventually really changed his life. Just someone being present with him, speaking authentically. It doesn't mean you're going to do that, right? You understand the meaning behind it. You don't watch someone destroy things around you without doing something. It's the view, it's the feeling inside you. It's like, and we can take it as a really beautiful challenge, right? Here's the guy. How long can I stay present for with him? And when the judgmental mind comes back, we don't judge ourselves for having it. Go, right? The challenge is a big one. Most of the world will respond tit for tat. Yeah. See it as a beautiful challenge, you know?
Yeah, it is quite fun because I do get the sense that he talks down to me. He enjoys like telling me and looking down on me, and I was like, right, I'm gonna just agree with him and like let him talk down to me. And then he doesn't. It's weird because there's a feeling like, oh, he doesn't notice that I'm just agreeing with him talking down to me, and he's actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a challenge for the ego when someone's talking down to you, isn't it? Falsely accused, being falsely accused, that's probably the peak. Like, to not try and stand up for yourself when you're falsely accused, I mean, it's really difficult. Someone talking down to you, it's up there. Does anybody else have anything? Oh, that's okay, Bear. We've got just 3 minutes. Oh, if anybody's got any they want to share, anything beautiful, tales of your Bodhisattva life. We did. Helped an old lady across the street. Fed some pigeons in Trafalgar Square. No? Okay. Hopefully take some of the meditation with you today. Yeah. Remember, our meditation practice is a rhythm. It's also good, it's always good to go back into awareness. You know, we're learning, studying stuff in the self, practicing, come back into awareness, and as much as possible let your life flow through that space. And just always remembering that this is just about enjoying your life as much as possible. It's always an important reminder. Yeah, more and more just sinking in. This is heaven. My life is beautiful as it is. And just noticing when the mind just takes you out of it, and these fantasies about the future. But it's like got your dog, and sometimes just the way the dog bounces across the room, isn't it? It just wants to break your heart with just the love. Yeah, sometimes the way your partner just walks into the room. Sometimes just the colour of the sun just coming in on the carpet. Sometimes it's just too unbearable to be alive. It's like so rich. And just be in your awareness, natural. You know, trust yourself. And the Bodhisattva vows are easy, right? You know, just be friendly. But most of all, be friendly to yourself. Yeah. I am a Buddha. And this is my Pure Land. What beautiful things am I going to do today on Saturday? It's 1 o'clock. You've heard me drivelling enough now. It's like, it's your task. Just to feel all the beauty of everything around you. including your sadness, if it arises. Sadness is beautiful, isn't it? It's so beautiful, isn't it? So thank you so much for being here. And through all our virtues and all our efforts, may we awaken to our deepest space, and that we effortlessly become that which is needed for other people, and that is effortlessly our greatest joy. And that is us just simply being ourselves naturally. May we understand that. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Amen. Have a beautiful day. Much love to you and your families.